Eliminate the bassist. Eliminate the guitarist. Alright? Eliminate the bloody bassist. Who do people think they are?
Hey everybody, welcome back to a slightly different version of Dialing In, which today I'm looking at another little feature, I guess we could call it, of the 3.0 firmware update. And I just wanted to give a big thank you to Darren S. Music. That's a YouTube channel, and Darren did this really ridiculously funny post the other day. I saw my face pop up in a Facebook post that he put up where he was kind of doing a rebuttal, shall we say, or a reaction to a comment that was left on one of my my videos that I put out recently about how, I think somebody alluded to the fact that now that we have this poly pitch shifting, we can kind of replace bassists, and he took great offense to it and did a great, really hilarious video. Everybody go check it out. I'll put the link in the description below, where he kind of mimicked guitar on bass using the same sort of, reverse thing, which was really cool, and I just wanted to have some fun with it. So thanks so much, Darren. This was obviously all in good fun. That was really awesome. And but the funny thing is, I was going to do this video anyways, where I was going to show how we could use our guitar to kind of do like a makeshift bass kind of a sound with the Helix, now that we have the polyphonic pitch shifting. Now, I do a lot of composing, whether it be for marketplace demos, whether it be for my own music, and what I usually do, the process is, I have a drum track that I use Superior Drummer 3 for. A lot of times I'll just throw together a drum part in TuneTrack's Easy Bass. I don't own a bass. I have owned basses in the past, but I actually find it easier for my workflow sometimes to just use the Easy Bass and get it, thrown together really quickly on the computer. But the thing is, I always, when it's a serious project, I always then source that out to real musicians. And I have a stable of great bass players that I work with. I oftentimes work with my good friend Marco Miniman on drums, and I get a great product back. So for me, it's just about laying down parts as sort of placeholders, right? So this idea now of using some of the poly pitch effects to make our guitar sound more like a bass is a really interesting thing for us who maybe don't own a bass or that want to lay down a really quick idea. Do I think it's going to replace bass players? No, not at all. The other great thing about a wonderful bass player is that they know how to play the bass properly. And as you'll notice from my intro thing, I'm not that great a bass player. I'm just goofing around on there, and that was pretty rough around the edges. I apologize for that performance, but it was more just to kind of have some fun with it. So let's take a look at how I did this and what sounds I would use. It's actually really simple. So let's go over to HX Edit here. So what I did is I took our poly capo block that we have now in 3.0, and I dropped it by 12 semitones. So basically dropping the guitar down an octave. I kept the tracking on X stable. I have the auto EQ set on 8 and the mix on 100%. For all I know, this is just how it pops up when we put it in in the path. So, with a minus 12. But so I dropped that down an octave. Now, what I did, I thought, let's run this through a bass amp. So I picked the Ampeg SVT norm and put it through an 810 Ampeg SVT-E cabinet with a 47 condenser mic at a 1-inch back, low cut of 20 hertz and a high cut at 8 kilohertz, and just left it at that. Obviously, we have many other bass models we can choose from, and anybody could choose whichever one sort of suited their ideals. But the settings I went for a bit of a grindy tone. I always like a little bit of bite and a little bit of edge on the bass. I put the drive on 7, bass on 4.4, mid on 4.6 with the mid frequency at 220 hertz, treble on 7, channel volume on 8, master on 8.5, sag, hum, ripple, and bias X all on 5, and bias at 7.5. I don't really believe I touched those deeper functions. I also added in a little LA Studio comp at the end with peak reduction of 6, just to get a little bit of squash and control on the sound, and I cranked the gain to 10 to kind of take advantage of some of the non-linear distortion characteristics of the LA Studio comp, and just to drive it a little bit harder. And I compensated by bringing the level down by 14.5 dB just so I wasn't sending too much output out of this, okay? So let's just turn everything off to start with. And what I end up with my straight dry guitar sound, I'm using my Vigier Expert guitar with a combination of the bridge and middle pickups, okay? And the direct signal with no processing is this. Okay, what happens when I turn on the pitch effect? Well, it drops it down an octave. That's fine. Now, what I wanted to do though is run that through a bass amp so we could shape our bass, our newly acquired bass tone, right? And that sounds like this when I put the amp peg on. Okay, now I'll take the LA Studio comp I have at the end. A lot of folks might be asking why I have it on the second path, because the poly capo is so DSP intensive that we can't even put the LA Studio comp on the same path, okay? So when I turn that on, we have this. Okay, so, you know, I'm playing that with a pick. Now, if we played it with our finger, so some fun with some different techniques. Gonna make it a little more bass-like, and I think a lot of the success of this is going to be actually trying to play more like a bass player, something I don't actually excel at, right? But it is, you know, it's funny, it's actually a fairly believable tone, and I think if you took that, buried it in a mix with drums, guitars, and everything, you're probably going to get away with it. And what a great tool for putting down ideas and scratch tracks without having to grab a bass, you know? So I really find this cool, but I have one more idea I want to try. I couldn't help myself but to give it a try on my fretless guitar. What a cool sound. I mean, man, oh man, again, you know, if I had to put down sort of a makeshift fretless, I think this would get by in a mix. Fun stuff. Anyways, so I hope you guys enjoy that. I'm going to put that preset up on CustomTone. It's really nothing special, but I mean, it's more of the concept that anybody who wants to kind of mess around and get some halfway convincing bass tones for demos, or maybe even a finished product if you're happy with it in the mix, you know, we could take this route. Lots of great bass amps as well. In the Helix. I would always put a little bit of compression on like I did here though, just to kind of control things, and I think that's a fairly usable bass tone. So my apologies, Darren. No, I'm just kidding. That was awesome. I really want to thank Darren for that amazing video. I think it was hilarious. Great job. Go give Darren a sub on his channel. Go check out the video and give him some thumbs up. It was really, really awesome. That's what I love about this community, is we can have some fun with things and you know, not have to always take everything so seriously. So that's awesome. So please like the video, share it with anybody who you think would enjoy it. Subscribe to the channel and hit the little bell notification to get notified when I put new content out. As for me, I'm going to sit here and have some more fun with the fretless. Thanks again for tuning in, guys. Ciao for now.